I have a few memories at the beginning of my story. The darkness. The shape of it. The sound of harsh voices. The feel of unwanted hands. All of it wound around me, meant for me. It started early and stayed by my side. It began as I was a small girl, and my mother would tell me to go across the street to a grown man. Go to a grown man I did not know for a phone call. And fear would rip through my stomach. I would start across the street, and before I opened the door, my sister would say, "No, I will go." And she would push me into the deep grass. As she entered the house, I would flatten myself against the ground, and I would cry out again and again. I can't remember how long these phone calls would last, but I can still feel the grass against my stomach. I can hear the name coming from the back of my throat. This was life for my sister and I. We had to hold on to one another and watch out for ourselves. But of course, there is only so much we can do. The people around us, older than us, meant to protect us, they offered nothing. Call it greed, lust, hatred, evil. Whatever their desires, I knew with my young eyes. They had nothing to offer, or they were just too scared to try. Out of all the people who failed us, I could never place my mother. There was something inside of me that refused to believe her, believed she was this. My father and his friends would use us, but I do not remember her calling out. Calling out for my sister, calling out for me. Never did she say it. This is Pricella. And she is mine. As I got older, I made new decisions about light and love. I came to understand that no one was coming to hold my hand or give me a moment of peace. My mother was never going to be more than a false phone call. So I ran away into the darkness. I turned away from one bad scene to find my path through the next. And for a moment, I had life. I was in control, and I thought this is what I was missing. Soon I found a pack of lost kids just like me. Children who banded together and became a gang. We stood close like a family, but before long, we began to make bad decisions and cause trouble. We continued to tell the story we knew, a story without love or light or kindness. So we treated the world as we have been treated. Somewhere along the way, I met a boy. His name isn't important. He just stepped into my life with promise and warmth. He was a flicker of something different, and I thought maybe he will call my name. Maybe he would be the light that I've searched for. He could be a moment of life without fear. So we began to move together, protected one another, live for one another. And if need be, we would hurt people for one another. And I continued to build my story on false hope. Not long into our time together, he began to ask for more loyalty, more deceit, more harm. Till one day, the whole world turned back on us. And in what now feels like a blink of an eye, I was pregnant, we were broken apart, and I was in jail. Just like that. One person we hurt, the 100 bad decisions, and the running away. My own story, the story I'm telling. It swam to the bottom of a drain. 14 years old, pregnant, in a jail cell. I think now how easy it could have been to end there. I could have faded away amongst the concrete, a little girl who couldn't grow up. But in the shadow of that detention center, light was cast upon my story. Someone showed up. Someone saw me. A group of women came into my life and gathered me up into their arms. They spoke softly with love and kindness. They spoke truth for myself and for my baby. They said I could be a name called upon, a mom remembered for more than just disappointment and abuse. I could be more than a child running away from the dark. I would be a woman running toward light. At first I was scared and nothing came easy. I was forced to wait it out, to become stronger, to educate myself, to learn how to be a mother, learn how to forgive and forget and move on. I had to understand more was an option and that something different can happen. And it took time. God, it took time. But at the worst moments, when I didn't know that I would ever forget, I would remember a little girl lying in the grass. I would listen to her say his name again and again. And even now, as I'm telling this, I think, where did you learn his name? Where in the darkness did you hear such a beautiful name? Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And as I listened, I knew there was strength in her. Something had laid beside me in that tall grass, and I can go on because he had brought me to my feet. And the least I could do is struggle on to a new beginning, a hope for light.